So today is tree planting day. It should be fun. 3 little trees that'll hopefully be on our property for a long time. So it's fall in Tennessee. Beautiful. I guess my mom gave me a birthday present. So she got this tree. It's a scarlet oak. And her and Dad have kept it alive. I think they got it free at like a free tree event where they were giving away like trees for people to plant. And they kept it alive, and I'm going to put it out here on the farm. So we've got outside of our house a couple of oak trees out here. And I'm going to put this one. It's a different kind of oak. I don't have any scarlet oaks. I've never even heard of a scarlet oak. Emily wanted to put it right here on the hill so that we could see it. And I hope it makes it. I don't really have a way to water out here other than carrying buckets. So I'm going to plant it today. I'm going to bed it down pretty good with some wood chips and get water on it. And hopefully it'll make it through the winter. That's my hole. I pickaxed down below so it's soft at the bottom. It's pretty clay soil. And then I tried to make it at least twice as big as the root ball. It's probably a little too deep. That's fine. I'll raise it up a little bit. This tree's down in a little hole a little bit, kind of around me. So the water should feed here. Planted. It's a pretty tall tree. I mean, it's taller than I am, which that's not saying much. And then I got, a hole about twice the size of it, which is probably not too big, but I did, I picked it out pretty good. So now I'm gonna go take the tractor inside. I'm gonna fill the bucket entirely up with water, and I'm just gonna come and dump it to get some moisture in the ground around the roots. I don't know if this will work or not. I got a lot of air in my line, evidently. I'm just going to fill this bucket up. It doesn't seem like the tractor's under 2. I don't know how much that weighs. That's pretty heavy, I bet. And it's going to slosh around. So I don't know if this is going to work. I'm just going to go real slow. Worst thing that happens is I dump it all over the ground. But I'd like to get some down there to the tree, and without flipping the tractor over in the process. It looks like it's pretty stable. We'll see. I'm not getting too far in front of it though. So let's try to go water our tree in. It would help if I had a hose pipe, but I don't. I'm just gonna go real slow, take it easy. A little bit of splash. So I'll slow down and go even slower. Looks like I made it with most of my water intact. So I'm gonna dump it now. That should water it in pretty good. I may do 2 buckets, but I'm gonna use my little bucket to just make sure it gets around the tree first, and then I'll dump the rest. And I may go back and fill it up again. It's not terribly dry, but it hasn't rained in a bit. It'll probably start raining here a few days. Yeah, rain in the forecast early next week, so maybe it'll rain. It'll definitely be cool. It's not going to get too hot, so it'll stay moist, especially under all the mulch that I'm going to put on it. That ground is saturated now. It's not too saturated, but it'll keep it good and wet. And then I'm going to put cardboard around it just to keep the weeds from coming up around it. And I'm going to go back up in the woods and get some wood chips to put on the cardboard. And then that thing should be good to go. The ground will stay moist. It'll rain here in a couple of days, and nature will be off on its own, and we'll have us a new oak tree that will hopefully make it through its first season. And this is the final step. I've got most of this is cedar ground up, and I'm going to lay it on top of there, and it'll rot down and hold the moisture in, hopefully. Done. That's going to hold all the moisture in, and it'll keep rotting down and decompose. It'll put a weed layer down where the cardboard won't let the weeds come through, and it'll just rot into the soil and turn that soil really good. So hopefully that tree will be off to a good start. That's it. Trees in the ground. We'll see if it makes it through the winter and into next year. If it can make it through that, it'll be here a long time, probably longer than that building will be here. Thanks, Gran and Golf Ball. I hope that's not an omen of planting a oak tree that hopefully will be on our property for 100 years. I hope this has nothing to do with that. Nothing. And then my other project is I have some walnuts that I've picked up at a couple of places. So there was a walnut tree in our neighborhood in town in Nashville, and it's got some walnuts, and they're pretty small. And I'm just going to throw those in the ground back in the woods and see if I can get a couple of those to sprout. When we were on fall break, we went to the Appalachian Museum out in kind of East Tennessee, and they had a bunch of walnut trees, and I picked up these. I think it's a different kind of walnut, much bigger. So I'm going to plant those in a separate place and see if I can I got 4 of those, so hopefully one of those will come up. And then I may move them, or I may just let them grow where they grow. I'll probably wind up moving them out into the field somewhere, maybe next fall. So I don't know if these walnuts are still good or not, but the way it says to test, you plant them about a couple of inches deep, like a 5-inch hole. And I'm just going to take them back to the wood line, and I've got some woods I've cleared out. I'm just going to put them in the woods and see if they sprout. The first step, though, is I got to see if the seeds are still good. So these are the ones I gathered from my neighborhood. And you're supposed to dehusk them like this. You take the husk off. And I don't think any of these are going to be good. But if you put them in the water, if they float, they're not good still. If they sink, so that one floated. I bet they're all going to float because they've probably all dried out already. I've waited too long after I gathered them, but I'll know for next year. Live and learn, right? So anyway, I'm going to dehusk all these and see if any of them sink. All right, I couldn't even get some of them dehusked. None of them are sinking of that batch. So the neighborhood batch, we'll have to wait until next year. Those cleared off a lot better, and they're still moist. So maybe the ones that I got on fall break are still good to go. Let's dump them in the water and see. This is a very exciting video, folks. Very exciting times. One sunk. Bad walnuts. I got one walnut out of all those, and I'm going to go plant it. I got to go back to the woods anyway to get the wood chips. So I'll plant this while I'm back there. Save me a trip. And then I've got some water, obviously, to water it in. All right, I cleared me out a little area right here in the woods. This is an area of woods that I cleared out earlier. So this is a great spot if a walnut tree wanted to come in. It's a great spot for it. So I've got more cleaning and clearing that I'm going to do in these woods here. But this is open ground, and I wouldn't mind having a walnut tree right here. All right, I drove a stake in, and I dumped a 5-gallon bucket of water on it. Now I'm going to cover it up with mulch, and that's done. That's easy to plant. We'll see if it pops up. Done. Time will tell.